Hey folks, welcome back. My name is Krishna. If you're new to the channel, welcome. This time around, we're going to take a very quick look at getting Krita up and running if you're making the move from Photoshop. Now, full disclosure here, I haven't fully moved over to Krita. There are certain things in Krita that I really like, and there are certain things that I do in Photoshop that are not quite there in Krita yet. And I'll speak more about those towards the very end. But let's go ahead and get started. The first thing you want to do is you want to go to Krita's Preferences, and you want to take a trip to the keyboard shortcuts. And under the keyboard shortcuts, you'll see that there are various shortcut schemes, and I chose Photoshop compatible because I'm coming over from a Photoshop workflow. This will map most, but not all, of your keyboard shortcuts to mimic that of Photoshop. And I say most because there are some keyboard shortcuts that you have to manually go and tweak. Now, this can take a lot of time. I would recommend just as you work in Krita, as you run into areas where your keyboard shortcuts don't work or not behaving the way you want them to work, you can always go in and you can make those modifications. For example, if I want the fill tool to be G, I can just go to fill tool, and under where it says custom, I can just hit the letter G. It might say that there's a shortcut conflict. I'll just go ahead and reassign it, and that should be fine. So then I can, choose to either save it out or, go ahead and cancel that out. So I'm going to go ahead and click save. And that will take you some time to go through. Now, Krita does offer, if you go under shortcuts, there is the ability to go ahead and print. And I don't recommend printing it. I recommend saving things off as a PDF. But when you do that, you will see all of the associated keyboard shortcuts that Krita offers. So if I were to open this document up here, it's a 76-page document, and it lists every single keyboard shortcut that's available. So if you're looking for something in particular, you can just do a search, find it here, and then make some notes, or you'll know what the term is called, and you can then remap it. So that's something I would highly recommend. Now, in terms of brush settings work a little bit differently in Krita compared to Photoshop. In Photoshop, your brush pressure settings are all through your tablet driver. So if I were to go ahead and bring this up here, in Photoshop, I can adjust the sensitivity of the tablet, the pressure curves, etc. And this is kind of what I've got set up for Photoshop. In Krita, though, there are a few different areas where you can tweak pressure settings. So after a lot of trial and error, these are the settings that I'm using within Krita to give me a similar feel in terms of the brushes that I'm used to in Photoshop. I have the pressure curve slightly greater than linear. It's a little bit curved. Also, the pressure curve starts a little bit to the right of the, where it's normally set up. Normally the pressure curve starts at 0. I've got it set to something that's maybe like 1. And that's just because I feel that the pressure curve is way too sensitive in Krita out of the box, and I like the brush to be a little bit more firm. Okay, once I've got that set up within Krita, you might notice that there is something under Preferences called Tablet Settings. I choose to leave this alone. The only difference here is I crank up the brush speed and the brush smoothing to their maximum values. And the reason for that is Krita works best when you look at the pressure settings for each individual brush. Now, the good news is you can bring in your Photoshop ABR brushes into Krita very easily, and I've talked about that in a previous video. I have one of my inking brushes right here, and what you can do to adjust the pressure for your specific brushes is you go to Flow and you choose Size, and you have Pressure and Pressure In. You can see that I've got the pressure curves set up to where it's almost like an exponential curve. You can test out your brushes and see how they work for you, and then you can save your brushes out. So I've been able to bring my Photoshop brushes over, and the brush engine in Krita is actually really good. So you can get that nice feel that you're looking for. Out of the box, it's not so great. You do have to go back in and you have to make some settings. Initially, when I started working with Krita, I was trying to figure out where the global settings were, and the global settings weren't working for me. They were not giving me the desired result, in other words. So I came to the conclusion that it's best to go ahead and adjust the brushes in their own brush settings. And that seems to be working pretty well for me. Now, let's talk about some realities of using Krita if you're a longtime Photoshop user. One of the things that you'll notice right off the bat is there is significantly more delay. Like if I'm duplicating a layer, Krita takes some time to render a thumbnail. And this presents a problem when I'm digitally coloring because I like to use keyboard shortcuts. I work very, very fast with keyboard shortcuts. Every single time I'm duplicating a layer, Krita has to spend about 2 or 3 seconds rendering what is on that layer. And that drives me bananas. So something that I've learned is that Krita is great for maybe, penciling and inking and even adding some color flats. But for some of the more, esoteric coloring techniques that I use within my own work, it's faster to do it in Photoshop than it is in Krita. Now, what I do like about Krita is its line tool. So, in Photoshop, you're normally able to hold down the Shift key with your brush tool to be able to get a straight line. That doesn't behave the same way in Krita. In fact, if I were to use the brush tool and hold down the Shift key, basically what it does is it just makes the brush bigger or smaller. And in Krita, you want to use the line tool. Now, the line tool in Krita is far superior, in my opinion, compared to the line tool in Photoshop, because what it's doing is it is using my brush as the basis for creating the line. So get a very organic looking set of lines. The other nice thing about it is that it feels very, very responsive. I don't have those weird diagonal lines that you would normally get if you're moving from one point on the canvas to another point using the Shift key. Sometimes you get this weird intermediate line. You might have seen that in my previous videos where I have to hit undo or I have to go and use the lasso tool to clean it up. I don't have that issue here. So that's really, really nice. Even if you're using, say, a shape tool, that shape tool, you can see how I can get these really organic looking lines using my brush. And I can always crank down the brush and you can see that that line also changes. So those are really nice pluses. It also has the transform tool, has a few other things that I think will make the transition very easy. So I think for a lot of people, I think Krita is actually an awesome choice. If the lag was fixed, if there was the ability to use subtool keyboard shortcuts. For example, I use the lasso tool and the polygon lasso tool, and I'd like to be able to quickly switch between the two, and I usually hold down the Shift L to toggle between the subtools. That's not really a thing that you can do in Krita. Same thing with Command J. In Photoshop, Command J will either duplicate a layer or it will duplicate a selection. In Krita, those two separate options are split into their own commands. Again, it's not a deal breaker. If I had to switch completely, like today, if I had to switch from Photoshop to Krita, I could make it work. I would have to relearn some of my keyboard shortcuts. And that's not really a problem, but for me, doing a lot of commercial work and freelance work, it's like, time is money and I just need to work fast so I can get stuff done. So that's why I'm still on Photoshop. But for a hobbyist, for someone who is maybe tired of Adobe's subscriptions and things like that, and believe me, I'm not a fan, I think that Krita is a viable alternative. And the other nice thing about Krita is that I can actually bring in my Photoshop brushes into Krita. I haven't had any issues with bringing them in. I have had to readjust the pressure settings, as I've shown you before, but they work the way I want them to work once I've done that. And I can also save out Krita files as PSDs, and I can bring them into Photoshop and continue work there if I need to do that. So, I think Krita is a very viable tool. I think with some of these lag issues and some of these shortcut issues, I think if those things are addressed, I think it would be a no-brainer. But I also realized too that Krita is not trying to be Photoshop, and that's something else that we need to be aware of. This is Krita. It's meant to be Krita, and I'm just using it as a Photoshop user. And so I realized that I'm trying to map on my experience and trying to make Krita into Photoshop, and it's not Photoshop. But as a standalone drawing tool, as a free drawing tool that has no subscription, but donations are welcome, it's fantastic. I have nothing but great things to say about it. So I hope this video makes some sense. And if you have any questions or if you have any suggestions on Krita and how to maybe remove some of the laggy issues, let me know in the comments below. As always, thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Later.